All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the call. It's so awesome to see your faces. And I know that you're all busy, so I really appreciate you guys making this a priority. So I want to start the call with just some recognition. I know that I posted this to the group, but Truly Success Club is such a big deal that I just wanted to shout out anyone who has achieved Success Club this month. And so my plan is to do that every week. Every Thursday, I'll shout out anyone who has already achieved it for the month. So let's see. I'm just going to read them off. I'm sorry if I butcher your names. If I get it wrong, though, please message me and tell me, because people get my name wrong all the time. It's Kuiper. If you don't know, it's a hard one. They finally have been getting it right on the National Wake Up Call, so I'm thankful for that. So, all right, we'll just start here with, this is everyone who has hit Success Club 10 in our downline. Brooke Estes, Bridget Wheeler, Shelly Vaneps, Jen Hansen, Maria Vandervelde, Molly McGinley, Rachel Martheler, Kara Kappel, Kara, I don't think that's right, Kansas Bergen, and then Success Club 5, Lauren Chapman, Emily Hobbs, Hannah Bartel, Alicia Simpson, Bethany Swart, Jose Barraza, Laura Petchel, Danae DeBolt, Megan Kahak, Maddie Hansen, Terry Marcus, Gina Tolley, Erin Trier, Ellie Haga, Tess Richardson, and Lindsay Nelson. So you guys are awesome. It's so, that's a big number of you to hit Success Club. And the month's not over. There's still plenty of time. 2 days left here. So keep going for it. And your efforts, if they don't pay off at the end of this month, they will next month. So don't stop just because you're like, I'm nervous, I'm not going to get it. No matter what, keep plugging away. So today on the call, we have Erin Novak, who is one of my diamond coaches. Erin is a mom to two, McKinley and Ainsley, and she lives in Iowa. And I'll let her tell a little bit more about herself. But Erin is someone who joined the business guns blazing. She was like, okay, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to do whatever I can. And truly, she did not wait around for anyone. She just went for it. And in less than 2 months, she achieved diamond rank. And so today, I just asked her to hop on the call and share anything that she did that could help you guys in your own journey to diamond. And it was funny because last night she was like, she was like, it's kind of funny to try to put it into words. She's like, I just did it, and I think that really does share her heart and why she is successful, is because she just goes for it, and I think in this business, you can't always spend so much time thinking everything through. You just kind of have to go for it and trust that okay, whatever you still have to work on, you'll learn in the future. And so I really respect Erin a lot. I'm going to Erin also went to Summit with us this summer in Nashville, and she's such a blast to hang out with. She's one of those girls who you just wish would live next door to you. So Erin, I'll go ahead and let you take it away, and we'll be sure to have some time for questions at the end. So take it away, Erin. Oh, hold on. Let me unmute you. Okay, there you go.
Okay, am I good?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Hey guys. It's I'm a mom to two, and I don't know about y'all, but something is going on with my children today. They've lost their mind. So it's kind of nice to have a break to talk to you guys, because I don't think you're going to ask me to get you milk in a sippy cup or scream at me for it being the wrong color or anything. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So I started in May with Amber's boot camp. I decided to do boot camp and coaching all at the same time. But before that, when I was super pregnant with Ainsley, my second, I followed Amber's blog and I saw these posts about boot camps and I was like, oh, that looks like something I'd be interested in. I reached out to her and then completely blew her off. So just keep that in mind as you're working, because the people that blow you off or say no, they really are, a lot of them are saying not now or not yet, because that was definitely the case with me. So I remember when I started, we had just moved. We moved when Ainsley was 4 weeks old. And when I started, she was like 3 months old. So I didn't know anyone, super lonely, stay-at-home mom, obviously baby, weight to lose. And I decided to not only do the boot camp, but I was going to go for the coaching just because I wanted something for myself, but I wanted to make just enough money that I wasn't costing our family money to have this hobby. That was like my goal originally. And then I started to understand the compensation plan and what was possible. And like Amber said, I guess just enough money for a hobby wasn't really going to cut it for me anymore, because I just fell in love with the company and everything that all of this entails. So the real reason I went crazy, this is going to sound a little silly, but I remember Carl Deichler making a post that if you hit diamond in the month of June, that you got this really cool t-shirt and you get it in time to wear to Summit. And I was going to Summit because who doesn't commit to Summit when you've been a coach for about 5 minutes, right? That's reasonable. And so I had to have the t-shirt, and I was like a dog with a bone. Like I was going to make it happen no matter what. It came down to the 11th hour. I'm signing up my final discount coach. It all goes through. I text Amber at like 11 o'clock at night, just a bunch of diamonds. I'm super pumped. And then the next morning I realized my mother, one discount coach I signed up, her Shakeology had already gone through. She then was not considered active because she didn't make a purchase after she signed up as a coach. And I didn't officially hit diamond in the month of June. And it was like stomach punch. But that just goes to show like all the little tiny fine line information that's really boring is actually super important, because I didn't even realize it at the time. But I guess you probably just want to know less about that and more about how the heck I did it in less than 2 months. And I guess my biggest thing was I saw the opportunity that was there with discount coaches. And I know that for some people in this company and maybe even on this call, that's kind of a 4-letter word and something that scares you. It's not always the most popular route, but for me, it just really made sense for a few reasons. I saw it as an opportunity to advance and rank quickly, which was important to me because I'm competitive by nature. And again, I wanted the t-shirt. But also, I saw it as an opportunity because I know for me, I joined this boot camp at the same time as a lot of other women that were just doing that. They weren't coaching. But not only did I get to participate in the boot camp, which was great, but I also got to be on this team page. And all these fun, exciting, informational things were going on this team page that taught me so much more about Beachbody and the opportunity. And so to me, I thought, if I can welcome people not only into my boot camp, but into this family, into this community, and get them to buy in to this, to understand what's possible and how wonderful it is, and how also have another level of support, shouldn't I offer that to them? Maybe they're not interested, but isn't it wrong of me not to even offer it to them? Was kind of my logic. And I thought that maybe they would stick with it longer as well if they felt a part of more than just one small boot camp that only lasts 8 weeks. So I just ran with it. And as I introduced the opportunity for boot camp to people, I also said that I had an option as a preferred customer / discount coach, and it would save you $16 a month. They broke it down for them, and I said they could choose their path, but I recommended this route for these reasons. And I would say 9 times out of 10, that is the direction people went. And so I guess there are like pros and cons. The pros for the discount coach, you're going to grow your numbers. You're going to grow your team. You're going to advance in rank. And like I said, they get the more exposure to Beachbody, which is fantastic, and the team. The cons, and I know a lot of you are thinking about this, what if they don't stick with it? What if they do nothing with it? What if they totally flake? That's completely reasonable, and some of them absolutely do. But you know what? you're going to like recruit coaches to your team and you're like, she's going to be fantastic. She's going to run with it. She's all in. She's telling you she's all in. She's completely committed. And she totally flakes because people totally flake in this business and any multi-level marketing. That's what happens. And you never know who's going to do it. So why not grow your team? And they're going to surprise you too. The girl I was signing up with like 10 minutes to spare to make me diamond that night was a discount coach. Signing up for her very first boot camp. She's working the business now. After her boot camp, she contacted me and said, I want to do this. I want to help people. She's signing people up. She is working it now. And I never would have guessed that in a million years. So if it's something that you've been kind of shut off to, I just encourage you to think about it. Now, I'm not saying it's the right option for every single person you come in contact with, but you just need to like look at them. Like if you have an aunt that doesn't participate in social media, she's not interested in it, you probably don't want to make her a discount coach unless you think she's going to really stick with it long term and you really need that spot filled. But you might be better off just making the commission off of someone like that you don't think is really going to get too involved or ever have the possibility. But if you have someone that signs up with you and they have an opportunity to have quite a transformation and they seem really committed to getting healthier and changing that part of their life, if they fall in love with these products, like every single one of us on this call has, there's a pretty decent possibility they might run with the coaching thing too. So it's worth it to just consider, to really think about it, because for me, it has made all of the difference. And I have been surprised by the people that have approached me that I thought, no way are they going to go with it. And they're showing interest the more involved that they get with it. So sorry, I'm just going to check my notes a little bit. So like I said, yeah, like you're going to have turnover with discount coaches. That is inevitable. You're going to have turnover with any of your coaches. So you always have to be recruiting, like constantly recruiting. And Amber posted a really good video about it the other day about being on the offense, because you really need to care about your coaches and your boot campers and everyone that you're working with. And you need to, love on them and show them support, but you can't rely on anyone. Mm-hmm. You can't have your rank be dependent on this coach or that coach. Quite frankly, it's not their responsibility to hold your rank. It's yours. So you always have to be cushioning that by recruiting constantly. You're never safe. You're never good. You just have to keep growing your team and adding people to your team. And one thing that I love from another video you posted the other day was how this girl talked about, she's a couple years into it. And when she first hit diamond, 0 of those people are currently still on her team that made her a diamond. And that's normal. And there's a lot of people on my team that I post to my page and they're really not paying much attention to the things that I post. And that's okay, because as I recruit those doers and those people that really want to run with it, they're going to get on my page and they're going to see lots of posts and they're going to see that I'm getting all of this practice at leading a team. And so when those people come that really want my leadership and really want to run with this, I'm more ready. I'm more prepared. I'm not waiting for the perfect team to be a leader. I'm leading, and I'll get that team as I go along, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I guess the other thing I just wanted to talk about was like looking at it in less than 2 months. That is kind of crazy, and some of you might look at that and say that's not possible. And I just want to say that it is. But in order to do it, there are a few things that are not possible. It is impossible to make diamond in less than 2 months and have a relationship with reality television. You can't do it. You can't keep up with the Housewives or The Bachelor or things like that if you want to grow your business really fast. It's also impossible to reach crazy goals and play Candy Crush, or I'm so out of it, I don't even know what people play on their phones anymore. But if you want to move your business forward, you need to delete the app and stop playing it. It's also impossible to make this happen quickly and mindlessly scroll social media. Social media is part of our job, but don't kid yourself when you're scrolling through watching funny kitten videos that you're working, because you're not. You're just looking at silly things on Facebook. When you go on Facebook, it needs to be intentional. You're on a recon mission and you're trying to find information about people. You need to be a bit of a stalker. You need to look into what's been going on their page. What have they been posting? See what people are up to, so that when you send that personal message randomly, you're not like, hey, I'm the Beachbody girl and I'd really like you to buy from me. You're just, hey, I saw that your son had a really awesome football game. That's great. You must be so proud. What else are you guys up to? And that's it. Like, just be a person, and you have to spend a little time looking into what they're up to in order to be authentic. And I think that that's one of the reasons that I've been able to also grow my business fairly quickly, is I spend a lot of time doing that. And you need to also expect that it's going to take about 20 of those messages and some back and forth to turn into one person. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to message old Shelly and this is going to be great. She's going to join my boot camp next week. It doesn't happen that way. I've been told no more times than I could ever dream of counting. And I guess the sooner you just accept that that's totally fine and don't take it personally, the sooner you're going to move forward and get your feelings hurt a lot less in this business. So yeah, I guess but I thought of a quote today, and a lot of people have their kids in the room, so I'll make sure it's PG, but it was that, you know, the quote that says, you don't get the butt you want by sitting on it. I think it's the same with our business. You don't get the income or the business you want by thinking about it or planning about it. You get it by doing. You get it by sending messages. And maybe you're going to mess up and say the wrong thing to someone sometimes. Who cares? Send 10 messages and maybe one of them sticks. That's the point. So like Amber said, even in the beginning of the call, it was kind of perfect. Just stop thinking about it so much and start doing. And you're going to be surprised at how quickly things move. And the more that you believe in you and your mission and your passion, and you just authentically show your excitement and your enthusiasm, people want to be part of something positive, energetic, and something that's moving forward. And we're all doing that here. So show it, be open with it, and people are going to want to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, is that?
I love it. Yes, that's perfect. I swear I could listen to you talk all day. It's just, I love, and it's true, isn't it? Like, just that enthusiasm. And I mean, someone like Erin has that ability to pull people in and really pump them up. And more than anything right now, like, that's what your clients need. That's what your coaches need. They just need you to remind them that you really believe in them and that you can do it. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Oh, I'm like, it's very frozen kind of. But yeah, so as I watched Erin's business grow, I'm really glad she touched on what she was touching on in the beginning, or at the end, where she was saying how she approaches people on Facebook that she's connecting with. Because I think where we can go wrong a lot of times is we don't take the time to really get to know people again and reconnect. I think sometimes we go too quickly to, hey, you want to join my boot camp? And we don't spend enough time developing that relationship. And so, Erin, is there any other thoughts that you have just in terms of, reaching out to people maybe that you went to college with, or maybe that you knew from high school? Like, do you have even maybe just a script of what you start that conversation with, or is it based on what you're seeing on their feed? Anything around that?
I don't really script Facebook messages. I have, basic things I do if they're interested, that kind of an email. I base it a lot off of what I see on their feed, but it just depends on the relationship too. If I'm closer to someone, it's just like, hey, how have you been? It's been about 1 million years. You look great, blah, blah. And if it's someone that I kind of know, but not really, then it's just, I pick something like, oh, that picture you posted, your shirt was so cute. Where did you get it? I think you lead with a compliment and then ask a question. And I guess my biggest rule is they are never the last person to write. I'm always the last person to respond. So as long as they want to keep the conversation going, then I'm going to talk to them. And I'm also never the person that brings up like joining the boot camp, it always naturally comes up. Typically, I would say 90% of the time, people are going to ask you what you're up to, or say, oh, I've noticed your post, you look great, or you're so inspirational, or this and that. And that's just such a natural segue into, oh, thank you. You know, it's been a real blessing for me. And is that something you think that you would ever want more information on? I think that you would be such a joy to have in the group. And you'd be surprised. It really does naturally come up. You have to stay engaged with the person, and it might take 6 messages back and forth. And I know we all have, a lot of us have kids and lives and jobs and husbands, and so it's hard to get tied up in those messages. But if they feel like you're trying to get something from them, they're not going to be interested. But if they feel like you're just genuinely trying to reconnect and see how they are, it really goes a long way anymore, because people don't do that. They're quick to throw a like on a photo or something like that. But even the birthday messages, I also have started, I don't just wish them a happy birthday in my message. I always ask, do you have something fun planned to celebrate? Because you ask them a question, and then that makes them feel like they have to respond. Because on your birthday, you get a lot of messages and you don't always respond, or you just respond with a thank you, but it doesn't engage into a conversation. So I always ask a question in every message I ever send anyone.
That's so smart. I love that. Anyone have questions for Erin? She has about 5 minutes. Her sweet husband came home during lunch hour so she could talk to all of us. So does anyone have questions for her? You can either say them, just be sure to unmute yourself, or you can type them in the chat.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Erin, I would love your thoughts on approaching family. I'm kind of newer to this, and one of the things that I'm still trying to figure out is how to approach family when it comes to, joining a boot camp or getting involved in the business and things like that. I just think that because I have that additional emotional closeness, obviously, to my family, I find myself kind of getting overwhelmed when they don't get it right away, or they don't appreciate where I'm coming from, or I kind of catch myself saying I don't understand why I have to explain this to you so much. But I would love your thoughts on just approaching family specifically, and maybe what's worked for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fantastic question. And I will first off say, the people that know you the best give you the least amount of credibility. It's just true. I can't say that I'm an expert on this, because quite frankly, a lot of people in my family don't fully appreciate it or take it seriously. I got my mom to join basically, I didn't even ask her, and she just saw my lead generators and stuff, and she actually asked me if she could, because when I signed up, I decided I didn't want to mix business and family, really, unless someone came to me, because I think it can get a little complicated, and it's hard for family to see you as a coach. And like I said, your family takes you less seriously than anyone else. And that's actually it's a pain point for me right now. My sister is very extremely overweight, and I have reached out and asked her if she'd be interested in joining. I really want to help, because she health-wise, she really needs it. It's more than just a appearance thing. She really does need it. And she just said no. And all I can say is that's okay. If they don't get, they've known you so long that this new passion of yours, they think it might be fleeting, and they think that, oh, this is just another thing she's into for 5 minutes or something like that. So they're going to take the longest amount of time to come around and take you seriously, and that's normal. So don't be discouraged by that. And I would just, honestly, after reaching out to my sister, I'm just going to take a step back from it. And if I have family members that approach me, then I'm absolutely going to welcome them in. But I don't think it's the best idea, because I also think that maybe my sister would benefit from a different coach, where she might take them more seriously and be more committed and be more motivated by that person, if that makes sense. So I think it's a tricky thing. I think it's a tricky thing for everyone. But for me, that's been my experience, that sometimes it's just kind of best to let them come to you and ask you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say that's one thing Jake and I talk about a lot, is we're our target market is not necessarily our friends and family. That's a great place to start, and it's a great place for people to support you as you get started. but your goal is really to like view it like you're opening up a storefront in downtown. You know, you want everyone. You don't want just to focus, because if you focus just on your friends and family, eventually that well is going to dry up, which is why it's so important to be so consistent with social media. And we'll take one more question. Does anyone have one more question for Erin? Okay, well, I wanted to kind of end and just say, you know, I think that Erin has done some really, really awesome things in her first few months as a coach. And as someone on our team who maybe joined along the same time as her, or after her or before, whatever, I think that our natural human tendency can maybe get a little jealous, or maybe get a little like, oh, I wish I had that, or of course it's easy for her, or she's not doing this right, or whatever. And I just want to challenge you guys. And the reason why I asked Erin to be on was because I want us to take her story and anything that you can glean from it to apply to your own business for good. Like, that's what I want you to do. Like I said, I got to spend a whole weekend with Erin, and we had a blast. And I mean, she is just, her heart is in the right place. It's like, I'm so proud of her for everything that she's doing. And so when anyone, you know, escalates their success in our team, I just want us to celebrate them. And I don't want there to be jealousy, because that's for middle schoolers, and we are adults. And I'm just excited to celebrate each and every one of you. And I hope that you guys take what she said seriously and apply it. But with that said, I also wanted to say, you know, every business is going to grow at its own pace. And so it's just because it is taking you longer maybe to get to diamond, that doesn't mean that you're a worse coach. That doesn't mean that you're not doing what you need to do. And so trust the process. And like we talk about all the time, as long as you're doing those vital behaviors, you know, every day, or I say at least 3 or 4 times a week to start, then you're blameless. Like, at the end of the day, you can go, okay, I did everything I could. I'm going to trust that everything's going to work out. It's when you aren't being consistent, that's when, you know, you can't really feel sorry for yourself, because you're not putting the work in. But Erin, thank you so much for sharing with us. I am recording this, so I'll be sure to post this into the group. And if you guys have any questions for Erin, if you could post them to the main page instead of private messaging her, so that we can all see the questions. Because I'm sure if you have a question, other people will also have that same question. So, all right, guys, thanks so much. I hope that you have a wonderful afternoon.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.